Exactly.
We are live.
Hey, hey, we are live. You guys, episode 4 of the Joy Factory. I am super excited. I just feel so blessed because we have 39 viewers. Our last episode, we had 39 viewers, and that was like 50% more than our second episode, right? And
Yeah.
I'm super happy that we're back to give you episode 4 and let's carry on our Joy Factory tradition, right? Before we
Yeah.
start, we're going to get pumped up. We're going to dance in our chairs. We're going to get that energy flowing, and we're going to show you guys how to get moving.
You know what? We're going all out for this. We're going all out.
Let's get the hair going. I love it. That's right. Awesome.
Quit rocking.
Yes, something different by the Sidewalk Prophets. We love it. So, welcome to the Joy Factory, where it's our mission to bring you joy wherever you are. This is our 4th episode, and Patty KK is going to let everyone know what we're doing. She's going to set it off. All right.
Yeah. Well, today we are going to be sharing our joy mantras with you guys to give you guys something to consider that you can incorporate to your life because it's all about joy. And we will be sharing. None of us have heard each other's joy mantra, so I'm very interested to hear what she's going to say.
Yeah.
And if you are ready, Miss Jennifer, with your beautiful flowy hair today, I'm just loving it.
I'm trying to get with it.
It looks so gorgeous. You're just ready for a photo shoot.
I'm ready, All right. The joy mantras. What's a joy mantra? So, Trisha and I have done some reflecting on our life experiences and kind of our ups and downs and come out with a few mantras that we have used to boost our joy. And we want to share those with you today so that hopefully we can help boost your joy or maybe motivate you to develop your own mantras, right?
Yeah.
So, my first mantra is don't be afraid to define and honor your boundaries. That's a big one. So what I mean by that, like as we learn and grow, we encounter different people, different situations, different jobs, different relationships, friends. Like in the world that we live in, we come into contact with so many different things, right? And we at some point it's possible for our emotional radar to go off and say, hey, this is a really good thing. I love this. It's feeding my soul.
Yeah.
Or also on the flip side, it's also possible to feel like, oh my gosh, like something's not right. Something's a little toxic. What's going on? And then we start exploring like what's causing each one of those emotions.
Yeah.
And when it's something good, when something positive is happening, like you have a friend you hang out with, such as yourself, where I know you have my best interest at heart. I'm gonna always walk away feeling better. Or, I go to work and I'm working with an awesome team, we're productive, we're flowing. Then, okay, that's an opportunity to set a boundary, like to not accept anything less than that. Because the thing is, boundaries are they're like a bucket or a filter for what we let into our energy and into our life. And we have to have standards so that when we know something is good for us, we're letting in more. And when we know something that, it's not so good for us, we're not afraid to enforce that boundary. And that's before I turn it over to Patty KK for her first mantra. The key is don't be afraid to enforce those boundaries. Don't be afraid of how people will react. Don't be afraid of how, it will be perceived because you're doing it for you, right? And you need to be intact in order to work out your purpose and maintain joy. Okay. So that's my first one. And
That's
so,
one I have been learning to do, especially with like people that you're very close to. It's like, it correlates with the one I wanted to share. Which one was that? Let me see.
yeah, let
And
me
it
hear
says,
you.
allowing moments. Okay, so I'll start with this one instead.
Mhm.
One thing for my joy mantra that I have been incorporating and will be incorporating into my life is to make the time daily to do something joyful. Like for me, I'll set like a 5 minute timer in the morning, whether it's dancing, whether it's looking in the mirror, doing affirmations, whether it's just whatever it is. I've realized if I start my day intentionally to dwell on the joy and the things that bring me happiness, I'm able to connect with myself and the world at such a greater capacity. So, like one day, this day has been really interesting, but I took the time in the morning to center myself, and I can tell you, it's literally been keeping me going.
Yes,
I was like,
yes.
I'm gonna show up 100% today. I'm not gonna give up on me. I'm not gonna give up on my projects because I remembered I'm putting myself first. So this mantra is remember, even if it's 5 minutes, it is so vital with Corona going on, with talks of war. It is just so vital to not focus on the negative and to really
Yes.
put our attention to things that will build us up and give us the courage to keep going. So, yeah, 5 minutes every day, a timer. Whether it's a little dance party like we just had right now, just do something that will give you that boost of immunity. Because when you raise your
Oh,
frequency,
good point.
let
Yes,
me tell you
yes.
something.
Good point.
Let me let me share something that we may not know. Being in a state of joy and gladness actually raises your frequency, which can boost your immunity. I mean, ask a
Yeah.
doctor, ask whoever if you don't believe me, but I can truly say it has changed my life with just everything.
Oh my gosh, I love it so much. And I'm trying not to go on a sidetrack because that's really exciting, right? But one thing I'm hearing you say is definitely like you're being deliberate about it. And I can say that you're telling the truth because I get the text messages from you every day, right? That tell me what
Yeah,
you're doing.
yeah,
So that's awesome. It's just to be deliberate because no one's going to do it for us. And then you brought in that fun fact about immunity boosting, right? I mean, the reality of it is that like 80% of sickness and diseases are stress related. They're
yeah,
stress related. And by doing things like finding that 5 minute daily joy, finding that thing that gives us that life force, we actually can live longer, healthier, happier lives.
yeah.
Awesome stuff. Um, okay, number two, deep breath. We're getting a little personal, but it's all good.
It is all good. We're being
It's all
honest.
good. Yeah. And so my mantra number two is just know that your worth and your future is not defined by people's opinions of you, right? It is not it's not a people's opinions are not a bounding box that you have to remain in. And hear what I'm saying. It is important to know how people around you are reacting to you. You got to know because there's sometimes that we need to tune some things up. We
Yeah,
need to continue to improve and grow to get to that next level that we want to get to. Um, but opinions by nature are very cheap because number one, everybody has one, and number two, they're always different. And number three, they're going to change from person to person, day to day. It's just not a foundation you can build on, right? And so learning to just filter through what you hear and see from others and build your self-worth on your own identity, on your own truth, right? And on who you really are versus what people portray because people will tend to project what they have going on inside to others. If I'm around someone super successful and who has a high degree of self-confidence, they're going to project that onto me and I'm going to feel
mm,
that same in their presence. People are like mirrors. But I've also been around people who are, and none of us are perfect at all. I'm so imperfect, but I've been around people who have like a high degree of personal insecurity or maybe just some baggage and have chosen to project that as well.
Yeah.
Right. And we can't take those things in and define ourselves by that. We always have to know what we're worth, treat people with love and grace because everyone's hurting in some way, but keep walking. Don't get dragged down by people's opinions. Okay, so that's my number 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My number 2 joy mantra is to allow your guiding light to lead you. And what I mean by that is whether you believe in a higher power or you're an atheist or you believe in Buddha, whatever, it doesn't matter. There is something in us that has been there even before we became born that knows what we're supposed to do and the pathway we should take in life. And from last week, like I said, society can easily put us in a box. And it's so easy to hear, though we love our family and our friends and whoever has influence over us, other people's opinions can drive our life in a direction that we're not necessarily aligned with in our identity. So
Yes.
what I mean is just take the time to get to know yourself. And this is one thing I'm getting to know in myself. Like I took a month off from dating and I've literally like just been taking initiative and saying, what do I really want for my life? Like where do I want to go? Yes,
Yeah.
I'm looking forward for the future and what's coming, but what am I doing now that is helping me to follow the pathway that is already inside of me, that is just waiting for me to tap into who I really am?
Yes.
So, yeah, whatever, that quiet time to just be still and hear your heart and really hear whether it's the negative voices that drive us, because a lot of negative thoughts can drive us and we
Mhm.
don't even know.
Oh yeah.
And I can say therapy has really helped me to learn how to think out loud and not to allow
Yeah.
certain thoughts to direct me in a direction that I know I don't partner with. So, whatever
Yes.
guiding light you believe in, just ask that guiding light to guide you to live in authenticity to your identity, regardless of what anybody
Yes.
else thinks.
Yes.
Because the thing is, we
Definitely.
we know where we want to do, what we want to go. Of course, we need help. We need guidance from others to a certain
Yes.
extent. But if
Yes.
we are not confident in ourselves, other people's opinion will guide us to where we don't even know we want to go. So it's just
Yes.
very important to center yourself and get to know yourself and get to know that guiding light that is waiting for you to shine, the brightness that is
Yes.
just waiting to manifest on this earth.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I love so much just how you put all of that, right? As always, eloquently and beautifully put. And I just love how you expressed it as a guiding light and that everybody has that because everybody is here for a reason and for a purpose, and they're all slightly different. We've got some things in common and some things that we do on our own. And that's what we actually need to walk out in order to have a joy, purpose, and abundance. We need to walk that out in spite of like what you were saying, what people are
Yeah.
thinking, in spite of people's opinions. Like railroad that and just do what you have to do. Okay, run it
Like I
over.
did
Keep
yesterday. You better
going.
throw it away.
Throw it away. We love to throw things on the Joy
I
Factory.
know. I mean, bye.
Just throw it in the trash and do you, right? Because we want to see what you have to do. We want to see what you have
Yeah.
to do. Because there's something beautiful in everybody.
Yeah.
Awesome. So we're getting a little solemn today, but it's good because we need to touch on these areas. Joy is about, it's the deep things. It's the deep truth. It's about the crazy fun like we had last episode. It's all part of the package.
Yeah, this is a part of it. This is where we're able to be honest and share that not everything is going to be beautiful as we perceive. Not everything
Yeah.
is going to go our way that we may want it to go, but it all works out whenever we take the time to really center and enjoy the
Yes.
moment that we're in, even when it's painful.
Yes.
I know a lot of people are going through so much, and even myself, when I go through a lot, I tend to just like shut down, but I'm learning. it's okay to feel pain, and it's okay to allow joy to be in the midst of pain.
Yes, absolutely. And I love how you said that because you highlighted the difference between like joy and happiness because sometimes we get them confused. You said joy can exist in the midst of pain. It's absolutely right because joy is birthed by your inner attitude and how you interpret what's going on around you.
Yeah.
Still feel unhappy and have joy, right? It's a transcendent state that you can still have in any
Yeah.
situation. And so I'm just so glad that you brought that up.
Mhm.
So we're doing our third mantra, our third and final mantra. Oh my gosh, we have to make it a good one. Right? Number 3, we got to make it a good one. So it was hard to actually pick like a top 3 because we could
I
do it.
know. I had so many I wrote down. I'm like, which one do I choose?
That's all like which way to go. But here's a big one that I think forgiveness, right? My joy mantra is I have to pursue forgiveness of anyone or anything that I believe I need to forgive, right? Because the reality is we're all going to be in situations where we get hurt or where we hurt somebody, right? It's not just a one-way street. Everyone's learning and evolving and
Yeah.
it's going to happen. And so when we have a situation that was either traumatic or just uncomfortable, and we feel bitter or angry towards somebody, we have to own that and say, you know, if I want to be happy and be abundant and get to that next level, I have to drop the baggage. We got to drop the baggage. And let me encourage you, it's not like you have to wave a magic wand and be like, oh, boom, I forgive this person. Now I should just feel perfect about it. You know, no, 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 no. Forgiveness is a decision that you want to release the baggage, that you want to release that person, knowing that you guys are both imperfect, fallen people who need God's grace, that you just have a willingness to release that. And you could even like pray for that person's healing or whatever it is you have to do to get back into that right frame of mind. Because let me tell you, unforgiveness will drag you down faster than almost anything on this earth. Okay. Like it will. You won't radiate what you need to radiate, which means you won't be able to attract what you need to attract. And it's just so critical in this walk. And it's just so liberating to know that, you know, I can actually forgive and be happy and move on to a higher state than I was before. So yeah, so that's my number 3.
Okay.
Getting a little personal, getting a little deep, but that's how we have to do it sometimes. So,
Yeah.
Patty KK, what
I'm
is
thinking about what you just said. Let's
yeah,
digest that because it's yeah, like when we don't choose to forgive, we think we're actually like hurting the other person and trying to give them like the pain that they're causing us, but it's really we're keeping ourselves from the freedom and the peace that we deserve.
yes,
And when I learned to forgive, it's like learning to forgive people in the midst of a lot going on. It's like I'm like, I actually am free from the pain that this person has caused me. Because if we keep staying there, it's like saying, I'm gonna elevate this person's energy and attitude towards me and allow that to take over me. And I'm like, it's really interesting learning like to let go of the past and situations that can keep us held back. But yeah, my third one goes back to it's okay to have a part of you to feel sad, but allow joy to dwell. Joy is not a feeling, it's a state of being. So, what I've learned, especially yesterday, I was feeling very overwhelmed. I was feeling angry. I was feeling so like I just sat down on the floor in the hallway and I just cried. And I didn't know why I was feeling so overwhelmed. But then I realized there's something I was feeling sad about that I was choosing to ignore because I didn't want to deal with the pain of it. So I
yeah,
was like, okay, I'm gonna give myself some time here and I'm gonna allow myself to feel this emotion because it was heavy. It was
yeah,
very heavy. But at the same time, another thought came in my mind and I was like, wow, where I am in my life is somewhere I had prayed my whole life to be. And just to remember that though I'm going through a lot right now, I
mhm.
prayed for a lot of the joy and a lot of the people like you, Jen, and a lot of the things happening in my
Oh my
life I
gosh.
had prayed for so long. And I'm like, I love my life.
Oh.
I really love my life. And I was like, you know what? I do feel angry. And I sat there with anger. I was like, you know what, anger, you're welcome. You're welcome to feel and to allow yourself to express yourself. So I screamed, I jumped, I
Yes.
punched the wall. But at the same time, I was like, wait, I actually have prayed for this moment in my life. And it's here. And I can be present in it and still feel angry. But that anger was able to like go faster because I allowed myself to feel that emotion, but I also allowed myself to realize this is just an emotion. It's going to come and go. It's
Mhm.
not going to keep me stuck where I'm at just because it's
Yes.
here. It's emotions are for us to see it and for us to let it pass you by, not just to let, okay, I see anger. I don't like it. I'm going to ignore it. Because when we do that, I started feeling really, really angry, but I realized I was actually really sad. And it's
Yeah.
okay to feel sad. And it's okay to feel like you need a moment to just like sit still, do nothing, cry, talk to someone, and allow your emotions to stay there. But it's also okay to remember this is going to pass by. And there's
Yeah.
so much more growth in that pain because pain
Yes.
tends to come and look very, very offensive and very, very harsh and very, very
Mhm.
something that we should not touch. It's like, oh, don't touch that thing right there. But what
Yeah.
I'm learning to realize, pain is actually very necessary for growth. Even like
Yes.
when a child is growing a tooth, they go through a process of feeling pain. When we're growing a plant, sometimes it takes forever to see that plant to grow, or it dies here and there, the roots wither, and it's like, but it's actually very, very vital to go through pain. So, but allow joy to be in the midst of pain.
Yes. I love it. I mean, that's just so I mean, I always say it's so beautiful, but it is.
Yeah.
You have basically explained what it's like to embrace that part of the human experience. And one thing I got from that is when we feel anger, a lot of times it could just be our own resistance to deal with the pain. That's what it is. Because we just don't want to go there. Because, oh my God, I might cry. Cry. Okay.
I
Cry
know.
is a good thing to do.
Crying is so therapeutic. Like I nowadays I realize if I feel that emotion, I don't care where I'm at. If I of course if I'm in the middle of something, I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna schedule this time for me to cry and for me to have someone to like process that moment with because it is so
Yes.
therapeutic to just let it out and then feel like just an instance of release after.
Yes, absolutely. And just going through that almost like like you're on a ride. You're like, okay, what does this feel like? Almost approach it with like a curiosity. It's like, okay, done. Next, let's move on. So
Yeah.
awesome. That's really good stuff. So wow, we're wrapping up on closing our episode, but we're so grateful for everybody who did tune in. And by the way, we want to hear from you. If you want to be featured on the broadcast, or if you want us to deliver a joy bomb, which is a spontaneous word of encouragement to somebody live on the broadcast, email us at joyfactoryhq@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Joyfactoryhq@gmail.com, and we will work you in because it's not about us, it's about you at the end of the day. We want you to feel like we're helping you in some way.
It's about all of us. We all matter.
That's true.
We're
You're
all a
always
part of the puzzle. We are as important as you are because reaching out to you
yes.
guys is like, it gives us joy because we're able to express ourselves and we want you guys to receive what we have to give you. And we also want to receive from you guys. So, yeah, reach out if you have a comment, if you have
Yes.
any song that you would like to offer for the next dance when I can rock my hair again.
Yes, come on. So we want to hear from you. And so on that note, thank you so much for tuning into the Joy Factory, where we have always fresh,
Always new.
always joy-filled content. God bless you. We love you guys and gals. Heart.
Bye bye.
Thing.
Take into consideration to find your joy mantra, whether it's 5 minutes a day, whether it's forgiving, whatever you feel has touched your heart. Take a minute after the broadcast, think about it, and add it to your steps of getting joy to be your guiding light.
Yes. And now that you said that, email it to joyfactoryhq@gmail.com. We love you. See you next time.
Bye
Bye-bye.
bye.
Bye-bye. All righty.